Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sonja. Welcome to everyone to this beautiful opportunity to deepen our understanding of how to deal with challenges of life. And in particular, we are understanding how to eliminate negativity and anger from our lives. Life can be so much better without anger and without frustration or irritation. Today, Sonja Ohlsson will answer our questions, and she will speak on a subject that is very much an antidote to anger, being kind to yourself. And Sonja is a right personality to speak about it. She is an embodiment of kindness, which is exemplified not only through kindness to human beings, but also her unlimited kindness to nature. She is one of the pioneers of a very beautiful and significant project, an eco-initiative of the Brahma Kumaris Spiritual University. And they had a lot of successes in the last maybe 20 years, less than 20 years since this initiative has started. She has been meditating for over 3 decades, almost 40 years, 38 years, and she's looking after the activities of Brahma Kumaris in Denmark. She lives in Copenhagen. So very warm welcome to Sonja, and please, we are looking forward to hear your insights.
Thank you very much, Iona, for the kind introduction, I would say. And I'm very happy to meet all of you who has taken up the challenge to free yourself from anger and to free yourself from negativity. It's a really big challenge. I would do everything to support that. And actually, I'm very afraid of angry people. If someone becomes angry on me, I just freeze and I don't know what to say. And I start to stutter and my heart freezes, my stomach freezes, and it's very unpleasant. My own anger actually is more like I become frustrated with myself. And so Iona said that today's topic, we could talk about how you handle yourself when you feel hopeless about yourself and your efforts. And yes, I think I'm the right person for that because I have been very hopeless about myself many, many times. And I've learned through the years to be kind to the self. And I just wish everybody were kind to themselves. I'm also a nurse, so I have worked in the doctor's clinic for many years. And sometimes the parents, they get so angry on the kids and they stand there shouting at their kids, and I feel so bad inside. And I feel that our thoughts and feelings are like our kids. So when I get angry on myself, it's like I see this picture from the clinic where the parents, they're bending over and looking down on the kids and scream to them or shout at them with sharp voice to be quiet or to behave well or whatever. And I feel so bad inside. And I sometimes, if I would get angry on myself, I have this picture of treating my own inner kids, my thoughts and feelings in a very, very bad way. And actually, I would take it as far as saying that there is never any situation where I need to have any negative self-talk. I haven't had any person justifying this topic of being able, that there should be any situation where I need to be hard or harsh on the self. I never found anyone. And it actually goes the same with other people, isn't it? I can be determined and I can be strong, but no need to be angry. Actually, all anger would say to is anger on the self in the very end. And when I meet angry people and I see after their anger, they feel very bad about themselves. So in a sense, it all comes back to the relationship with myself. And I used to have very, very easy to tears. So I have to learn to manage myself and my tears. And I used to feel very, very easy feeling sorrow for myself. So that is the gateway to my own irritation on myself, is to feel sorrow for the self. And actually, I don't need that either. So I have replaced that with saying, sweet Sonja. So whenever I become angry, whenever I become irritated on the self, or whenever I feel like giving myself a hard time, I would go to my favorite meditation place and I would sit there and look at the meditation picture and I would say, sweet Sonja, until that bad feeling has left me. Sometimes it says takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes it takes half an hour. But it's like you're having a kid and he's done a mistake. And the best thing to do is to comfort the child until it feels better, until it's regained some of its dignity or strength. And when things are settled, then we can have a little chit chat, what happened and how did you do that and all of this. So to be very sweet to the self in any situation. And if you feel that hard feeling coming up, go immediately. And if it's at work, you can go to the toilet or something and just sit there and say, sweet me, and embrace yourself inside until that bad feeling has gone. And as Iona asked me to share a bit about hopelessness, I was thinking, what is it that I do nowadays then if I feel hopeless about my own effort? Because one could say, after having meditated for so many years, all the anger and negativity should have been gone by now. But it's not like that, really. But I think the first thing I do is that I plan my response when I have a good day. Many days are good, most days are good. But if I feel that this thought of feeling sorrow for the self, or this tendency to be hard on the self is coming, or if I become angry on the self, I would plan how to deal with myself in that situation beforehand when I'm feeling good. Because when I'm affected by negativity, I don't think very clearly. And I have some angry people here in the community, and their anger are very different and it shifts. So I, according to the situation, I plan what to reply to them and how to reply to them. And sometimes I exercise it, and I do this only on good days, because when I'm in the situation, I can't think clearly. So I think that's my best method. And I also learned to study myself. So I study others' response to me. Let's say I am feeling sad or hopeless, and I may be crying in a difficult situation. And then I see how other people react to me. Some people say, stop crying, or it's not worth it, or go and meditate, or some people become embarrassed and leave. And I met one person the other day. He said, you can cry as much as you want. It doesn't really matter. It's okay with me. And after he said that, all my tears stopped. Just like that. Sorry. So by study, and then I thought, wow, this is how I will deal with myself, because that in my experience, has been my most efficient method to stop this situation. So I often study how other people react to me, and I see which reaction is most efficient in my own self. So then, yes, I would deal myself according to that. And often I don't like when other people give me advice, you should do this or you should do that. So then, of course, I've stopped giving advice to others. Now it's a bit different because we're sitting here talking, I'm sharing my experience. But if people have not asked for advice, I would never give anything. And I try not to have even thoughts about other people's behavior or what they do or not do, because that's a kind of limiting myself only. So I try at other people can be as they want to be, and then to have the same attitude to myself, and then like a little child move myself forward as much as I can. And yeah, and there is also, I remember one time I was in Madhuban, our spiritual headquarters, and I was feeling quite hopeless about everything. And it looked like everyone around me was very happy, and I was not feeling happy. And I'm feeling quite, lack of enthusiasm or maybe guilt for not being able to use the maximum time in Madhuban. And after a few days, I got a bit tired of myself. So I thought either I'll go home or I'll do something. And then I stopped and I noticed the atmosphere in the meditation was very loving. And I thought to myself that everything I wanted was actually a bit extra love. And it's here in the meditation room, but I didn't notice it because I wanted love in this way, this way, this way. And then I went for breakfast, and the women serving the food, they looked at me so loving. And I thought, wow, for all these days, they looked at me in the same way, but I didn't notice it because I thought Madhuban and the love should be in this way, this way, this way. And that was a good learning for me because I realized whatever I need and whatever I want is in the situation I'm in. So if I'm in a situation with tears or with anger, then I'm trying to stop, take a deep breath, and connect to Baba and saying connect to God and say what's going on here really. What is it that you need, and can you feel it in the atmosphere? So, Iona, I'll leave over to you if there are some questions or some comments or.
Thank you, Sonja. I really enjoyed your method of speaking to yourself as sweet Sonja and uplifting ourselves and seeing the respect that we can have for ourselves.
Mm.
That is based on what? Is it based on the actions that we do throughout the day and then we have a good self-respect?
Mm.
Or is it based on spiritual knowledge, understanding our original nature? Is it based on some authority telling me that Joanna, you are good, or Sonia, you are good? What do you think is a seed of that self-respect that will help us to overcome the obstacles, the hopelessness?
I think that's a very easy question, Iona, and and I think maybe people listening would know the answer, but I'm not sure. But of course, when I started meditating, I wished I would have worked on my self-respect a lot earlier. I thought I had self-respect. I think it actually took 15 years of meditation before I seriously started to look into the topic. So, and yes, I have to base the self-respect of who I am deep inside, and that is not connected to anything physical or to any other person, because everything which is physical is coming and going, and so are other people, authorities or not authorities. So deep inside, I'm a peaceful, loving soul, and that's where my self-respect lies. That's where my dignity lies. But of course, it's not always easy to let go of others' opinion of yourself. So, but if I can have a good relationship with that inner being and understand that it takes time for me to reach there, and in the process, I have to be very kind to myself, then what other people think and not think about me then becomes secondary. Mm.
Yes, the self-respect based on the qualities of the true self.
Mm.
How do you build that conviction, that certainty that you are good and you are a peaceful being? And also being able to take the decision to finish anger. Anger is a habit, and like any habit, if you decide from today on, I will not get angry and I will practice every day for a certain amount of time, it will go away. It's just an imprint in the brain. It will disappear. Where do you find the power to take that decision, to change a promise or a desire into a very determined thought that I'm going to finish this?
Well, you see, I'm not sure I've taken that very strong decision. But I have this feel good factor in me. I want to feel good. And when I feel good, the people around me feel good. And I don't like pain. I just don't like it. And I don't like my own pain, emotional or physical. And I don't like seeing others in pain, emotional or physical. And anger is so painful and it's so embarrassing. And it's a disaster, I would say. And if I know, my logic tells me that if I don't deal with my anger, I will become a lonely person. Because I realized, I think maybe that's where I took somehow the decision to get rid of my anger anyhow, because I don't like to be lonely, is that if I have a habit of anger, then other people will hesitate and tell me the truth or be honest with me, because maybe there is a situation, something has been difficult, and other people around me might tell me 75% of what was going on, but they don't tell the full story because they are afraid of my reactions. And if you have people around you in relationship who can't be totally honest and tell the whole story, then it's not fulfilling a relationship. It's going to be very superficial. And realizing this, I thought, okay, I don't want other people to be afraid of me because I value close relationship and honesty. So I have to deal with it. Otherwise, I will end up lonely, and I don't want that. So the consequences of not dealing with anger is actually more frightening than taking the determination and making the effort to actually get rid of it. And yes, the power. And if I really know I'm a soul or not, or if there are good qualities or not, everyone has to go there inside and have a look and see for themselves. No one will believe it by others telling you. And that's what we do in meditation. So I can say it, but if you haven't felt it, it will mean nothing to you. So go inside and have a look and see what you find. And if you find a bit darkness or a bit worry or anxiety, you have to dig a bit deeper. And then you'll find it. and maybe have some images around you. I remember I took a swim once, and when the sun hits the water, there are some stars, it's like water uh, glittering in the sunshine. And they are so beautiful. And I thought, wow, this is how beautiful I am inside. So sometimes if I feel hopeless, I think I'm a beautiful sunshine reflection in the water, or I'm like a sunshine day in my head or something like that, which works for me. And yes, I understand you're asking about my relationship to God, where to get the power to deal with it. And yes, of course, it's such a big task, even though it's easy to say that you would not be able to do it alone. And the thing is, God never gets angry. It's amazing. No matter how much I disappoint in my eyes God, or how I get angry, or how much I forget God, or whatever I do, you never have any angry feeling in meditation. It's amazing. So one can only take power from the source which don't get anger themselves to deal with anger. It's kind of logic, isn't it?
Very beautiful, very clear. Shall we experience this inner space full of qualities? Would you like to lead us into the experience of the life of the true self?
Yes, let's do that. So we take a deep breath. And another deep breath. And now relax. Breathing deeply makes me humble and appreciating the wonders of life. I imagine myself much more than the body. I see myself as a beautiful shining star. And I, the soul, the beautiful soul, I've the light fill up my whole head. And my whole head becomes full of soul light, peaceful light. And I spread this soul light to the chest. And I fill my chest with love and light. And my stomach and my legs. And I relax. And I relax a bit more. And I'm enjoying my own company as my own best friend. I'm sitting here peacefully in the sunlight in my head, appreciating my own self for keeping up, appreciating my own journey who has taken me so far. I embrace myself, feeling good about myself as a peaceful being of light. And today, we invite the Supreme Soul, we invite God to come to me and sit next to me. And I can feel the presence of divinity, a very graceful presence. I fill my heart and soul with so much love and peace and happiness. It gives me feeling I don't need to use anger for surviving anymore. I don't need to use the tears to protect myself. I have an armor of light and love, protection. I have the divine. I have God next to me as protection. And I sit here and I enjoy. And I take a deep breath and I prepare myself to return from the meditation and come back to daily activities. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, dear Sonja. Thank you.